Welcome back to another Planet Doug behind the scenes production. This one for Saturday, October 22nd. It's almost 7 o'clock in the morning. And I was on the internet the other day and I stumbled across the fact that behind the scenes, they often use, a standard acronym of BTS. I see BTS everywhere. It's like, oh, that's behind the scenes. So this is a BTS video. But it's actually a BTS-OB video, perhaps. A behind-the-scenes over breakfast video. Because I'm out on the streets of Kuala Lumpur at 7 o'clock in the morning. Because I have my sights set on another famous breakfast place. I seem to be making a collection of them with Daryl. Actually, the last time I had breakfast with Daryl, he gave me a choice between two places, both of which were famous. Ho Koi Hainan, I think. And this one, I've already forgotten the name, Bun Chun. He says, this one or this one, which one would you like? And I chose Ho Koi Hainan. We went there, and this morning I'm heading out for breakfast on my own, and I thought I would check out Bun Chun, see how that goes. Could go well. Apparently great place, great atmosphere, great food. Nothing wrong on that score, but it is, as I said, a famous place, so it's going to be busy. And even on a Saturday morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, I understand, it could be busy. There's even a time limit on your table, I read. I was looking on Google Maps, looking at their reviews, and people said, yeah, it's a great place, but they even put a time limit on the table. And I'm going there just one person, so I already feel guilty. I'm going to ask for a table for one, so I may not end up spending a lot of time there. But yeah, I was just in the mood to step outside into the world and go have breakfast. And I may be blinding you with my unusual, unfamiliar orange shirt. It's just one of the many things that has come out of my boxes here that I had in storage at the hostel. I think this was one of my original go to the embassy to apply for a visa extension shirts, go to immigration shirts. And, so it's sort of a button shirt, it's got a collar and that sort of thing. So once the sun comes out, it's probably too warm, this shirt, to walk around wearing it. But nice and cool right now, walking to a restaurant to have breakfast. I think I can handle it. I just wanted to do something different. So the orange shirt is back in circulation. Yeah, pretty quiet out here this morning. Not a whole lot going on. Parking lots are empty. Sky is kind of gray. Merdeka 118 over there. And there's Chinatown. Everybody there is just waking up, getting their restaurants and shops and stalls and stores ready for another day. I thought I was heading in the right direction. This restaurant is very close. I mean, this whole neighborhood is filled with famous breakfast restaurants, kopitiams, and I'm adding another one to my quiver. So yeah, I was going in the wrong direction entirely. At least I could have gotten there the way I was going, but this is the way I wanted to go. So I'm back on track. This route is going to take me past Cafe Dion, where Daryl and I had breakfast, and then past Ho Koi Hainan Kopitiam, where we had breakfast just recently. And then short distance from there is Bun Chun, where I'm going for breakfast this morning, I hope, assuming there aren't that many people waiting. So, oh, look at that. There's a nice view. There's this alleyway over here I keep pointing out. Over there, the alleyway with a lot of Instagrammable locations. And this is sort of another view towards it. And then you've got Merdeka 118 rising above it. Just struck me as a very scenic alleyway when I glanced down it. We've got these guys connected with all the restaurants, and they're busy cooking here in the back alley, which is kind of cool. And here's Cafe Dion. We're just passing by it. The old post office back when, you know, this was a British colony. And up here are a bunch more of these famous restaurants. There's this one, Cafe Old China. I've eaten there before. A subscriber actually treated me to a meal here, which was quite good. Nonya Food, if I remember right. And then up ahead, you can see people already gathering outside of Hokao, Hainan, Kopitiam, getting their tables. Oh, this is interesting. I smelled it before I saw it. Hello, good morning. Yeah, squid. Mr. Sotong. Oh, yeah, dried squid. Look at that. It's like an award-winning sort of squid. Sells it out the back of his van. Look at that. Yeah, I could smell it from way over there. Very pungent, this dried squid. I think the first time in my life that I had dried squid was in South Korea. And I went out to the movies when I was there with some students of mine, actually. I was teaching English, and we all went out to see a movie together, learn movie English vocabulary. And yeah, we're talking about going to the theater, what it's like in Canada compared to Korea, and I'm talking about how we always get popcorn. And they says, well, we do get popcorn in Korea, but more popular in Korea is squid. Like dried squid. They said that's what we get when we go to the theaters. So I thought, all right, let's do that. So I think that was the first time I had dried squid, was at that movie theater. Wrong again. I don't know what is wrong with me this morning, but I thought my Bun Chun, I thought it was over here, and then I turned right. But in fact, I was supposed to go down the Instagram alley. That's where Bun Chun is located, and I knew that. I knew I was supposed to go there, but then for some reason I completely blanked and walked right by it. So let's head in this direction. Well, I wonder if everyone here is coming for the squid. Ah, Bun Chun restaurant right here, right beside the Instagram alley. Huh. And there's the alley and this yellow building, the first section of it anyway. You see that sign up there? Ooh, I forgot I have a zoom. I can zoom in a little bit without moving. So there's Bun Chun restaurant from 1893. Kind of a dim sum restaurant from what I understand, but they have a whole bunch of different dishes available for breakfast and coffee and stuff like that, I assume. And here's the front of Bun Chun from another angle. And I think the seating is up there, second floor. It's a very small area, I understand. Right through the window, you can see some of the lighting up there. And the front door is open, so I'm going to go in and touch base. I don't think they open to customers until 7:30, but I mean, if you're going to leave your front door open, hungry people are going to wander in. That's just what happens, right? They have to expect that. And even if I can't get a table or a reservation, we can... Oh, okay, look at that. Due to current pandemic, maximum dining time is 60 minutes. Well, that's fine with me. I'm not going to be sitting there for more than 60 minutes anyway. So here they are getting ready. Dine in. Please take number at counter. Thank you. Smells good. I can smell the bread. It turns out that they're already open, which is good news. So yeah, it's not fixed. It's not set in stone that they open at 7:30. Sometimes 7. So if you come earlier, you might get lucky. So yeah, here's some more of the downstairs. Bun Chun since 1893, and yeah, look at that big mirror. Love that. But there's no, yeah, no seating down here. Yeah, all the seating is upstairs. I don't know what those are, but they look good. And that's always cool with the restaurants where you can see so much of the production. So basically you're right in the middle of all the action. You know, the kitchen back there, the bakery. You can see some of the tart. Yeah, they're very famous for their tarts, I understand. Yeah, they got a lot of tart. And then you see a bunch of items, baked items being prepared on the trays over there. And these really nice traditional lanterns on the way up. Wooden stairs. I love to enter places really slowly and kind of take it all in. It's kind of why I always walk around a place for a while first. Hello, how are you? So here's some of the seating. This might be all of the seating actually, up here on this floor. Nice big mirror over there. So we can get a view of the outside. Oh, there's a nice display. Teacups. And that's the alley that I was looking down. I didn't even know it when I was standing over there shooting video down this alleyway. I was looking right at Bun Chun and I didn't even know. And they have some photographs here, which I assume is of the family that started this, the Bun family, perhaps, Chun Bun. Very old photos. And a bit of a history there in Chinese, I think. And here, they're talking about egg tarts served daily from 8 a.m. All pastries baked daily, self-service down at the counter or something like that. Now that I'm here, I really miss Daryl because I don't know what to do. Like what, you know, that's the thing with me. I go into these places, I don't know how to order on my own. It's always a mystery to me because now it looks like self-service, but not starting until 8 a.m. There are no menus anywhere that I can see, but I see a QR code on each table. So maybe I have to scan the QR code to get the menu. I'll bet that's it. So I'm gonna try that next. A little bit more behind the scenes detail. When I came in, I seemed to have freaked people out. A man was looking at me down in the lobby like a deer caught in the headlights. Just, you know, he was frozen in fear. And I kind of made a joke with him about, you know, like, you look so scared, you look so nervous. And then he came up to me, you know, he kind of broke out of his frozen posture. And he says, oh, well, I don't know you. And I saw you come in with a camera taking pictures. And so I was shocked. And that might be a difference between having a GoPro, and this is a real camera. It looks like a real camera. Because whenever I go anywhere with the GoPro, I never get that reaction. Nobody even notices it. I mean, people sitting around, they see that I'm holding a GoPro, but nobody worries about it. So the reaction that I got coming in here was so odd to me. It was like, why is everyone freaking out all around me? And it may be because of the larger camera. And there, the woman down there who was making some baked goods. I was trying to be very professional, you know, I'm trying to be upfront about everything, and so I spoke to her, you know, with my camera, and said, do you mind if I take some video of what's going on here? And then she just completely blanked me, like just ghosted me, and I assume she doesn't speak English, So she just didn't even look up, didn't acknowledge that I was there in any way at all. So I just kind of felt very sheepish, you know, so like, I'm sorry. And I started backing away. But yeah, Daryl, where are you? I need you, man. I don't know how to live in this world without your guidance. Without Daryl, I'd never get fed. But anyway, there is a QR code, table number 6. So I'm assuming I have to scan this to get started, to place orders. Maybe there's no human contact here either, because there's a counter over there and a woman sitting behind the counter, but she's not paying any attention to me either. So where's my QR code reader? There it is. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I found it. Oh, I guess now I have to take a picture. There we go, finally worked. Open in browser. Web order. Okay. Okay, so the lemon tarts and things like that you choose at the counter. Oh, I have to choose at the very beginning. Takeaway or dine in. That I can do. Dine in. Ah, okay. I love this. Great. I don't need you, Daryl. I'm okay. I have technology. Yeah, they just have a whole bunch of stuff here. And pictures of every dish and how much they are. And there are some that are sold out. The weird thing is they still use the same language of a shopping center. Like, it's kind of understandable if you go to Amazon or Lazada, you have a shopping cart, right? Just as if you went through a store and you fill your physical cart, they adopted that language. But these restaurant ordering places, they use the same language in English, where you put things in your cart and then you check out when your cart is full, right? The language isn't quite right for a restaurant. I'm not quite sure what other language you would use. Yeah. I'm gonna take a few minutes to sort through this menu and figure out what it is I want to get. I sort of have my bearings. It's mainly fried dim sum. That's the bulk of the menu. There's English and Chinese, so that's going to be very easy. And I don't know how many pieces you get. So for example, there's something here called Majestic Shrimp Dumplings for 9 ringgit, but I don't know if it's 9 ringgit for one or a plate of 3 like they show there. I guess I will find out. Ooh, cheese bean curd roll. If you put cheese in anything, I get excited. So it's like, oh, cheese, you know. So that's 7 ringgit, and maybe 3 of those on a plate. So you go through all of the dim sum, and then there is a chicken scallop congee, like a morning porridge. So I'm thinking about getting that. And then there are a bunch of specialty teas. Da Hong Pao tea, Golden Roses tea, Longjing tea, served hot, most of it I think. And then there's iced teas, apple tea, chrysanthemum, ginseng tea, and then some desserts, lemongrass pudding. For better or for worse, without Daryl's guidance, I'm sure it's for the worse, I went with cheese bean curd roll. I couldn't resist. Could be a plate of 3. Sichuan dumpling, and then red bean soup, and a glass of cold water. I'm really hungry right now, and I wanted to order so much, but I'm just trying to scale it back a little bit, not go crazy. I wanted one of the ordinary looking dumplings things, I got that, and the red bean soup just sort of jumped out at me. I hope it's hot. Even if it's cold, that'll be okay. So I don't see anything on here where I have to worry about whether it's available or not. Like, if it's on the menu, I assume they have it. You know, maybe one of these takes an hour to make or something, I don't know. But I'm gonna hit Again, there's no human contact, so all I can do is hit confirm order, and that order comes to 20 ringgit 80 cents. So let's hit confirm order and see what happens. Select payment method. But there's only one method listed, pay later at counter. So I'll do that. Order submitted successfully. Bean curd roll, some dumplings, red bean soup, and drinking water. There you go. And I guess I just sit here and wait for these things to arrive. It's interesting that I didn't know that before I came here. Like, I didn't know it was a QR code ordering system. But now that I know, you know, then it's second nature, you know. But yeah, it's an interesting part of the modern world. To have breakfast, you need a smartphone, you need an internet connect, you need a SIM card, you need a data plan, you need all three of those before you can even submit your order, right? So yeah, it's just the way the world is these days. I put in my order. It was easy, no problem. I don't know if I captured the full interior when I came in, but here's like a view from my table, you know, from where I'm sitting. You can see the windows and the lights. The lights are all moving because they got some nice fans blowing. Yeah, it is air conditioned in here, which is nice. So it keeps it nice and cool. And there's the counter. And they have some kind of drinks over there in those, keep forgetting I can zoom. Right there, she's mixing up some kind of special drink. Maybe we can take a look at it. Oh, that's the congee. Oh, look at that. Now it makes me wish I'd ordered something like that. Congee, yeah, there's nothing added to the congee, and that one over there. Some kind of broth or soup. First dish to hit my table. Red bean soup. Let's get the big reveal. Oh, nice. It's warm. That's why I was saying nice. You know, look at the steam coming off. Nice rooster spoon. And let's see what we've got in there. Oh. Okay, so it's more of a, the beans are chopped up, like there's nothing. In the photograph, it looked like it was like a big bowl of like pork and beans, you know, like red beans. Like you could actually eat all the beans, but it looks like they're sort of blended. They've been put in a blender and turned into soup. I'm going to sample my red bean soup. I was kind of wishing, like I wanted the beans, I wanted to chew on the beans. That was kind of what caught my eye. But I imagine the flavor is the same. Wow, that is not what I was expecting at all. It's much thinner than I was expecting, like the broth. And the flavor is not so much red bean as some kind of spice. What is that? I feel like I'm dripping all over the place. I haven't mastered the art of using the rooster spoon. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with this spoon. Yeah, it feels maybe ginger? Something almost nasally, you know, it's got a strong spice in there. I think you have to put the rooster spoon deeper into your mouth so you're not dribbling. That worked better. I even have to learn how to use a spoon when I go out for a meal. It's good though. I don't know if do I need to say that? Yeah, it's good. It's good. Ice water. Oh, that. That reminds me. My ice water saga continues. I'm just having so much trouble normally getting ice water. This time I got it because I could just click on the menu item. And actually when you clicked on water in their menu, you then had to choose if you want hot or cold, you know, and I chose cold and it came with ice. So like it didn't even specify ice, but I got, you know, a big glass of ice water. So very happy. But I've been going to Vinijaya Indian buffet restaurant. And I've been trying for days and days and days to get ice water. And no matter what I do, I can't get it. And I went back there yesterday for kind of a mid-afternoon lunch dinner, I think. And I went prepared. I actually went onto the internet and I found a photograph, a stock photo of a glass of water with ice, like ice water. I had a photograph of it queued up on my phone so that this time when I went there, I could show them ice water. You know, this is what I wanted. And I didn't use the photo to begin with because we seemed to have an understanding. I had a long conversation with the guy, but it kind of went the same way as what I described before, where I asked for like ice water. And he seemed to understand. You know, he said, ice water. Yeah, like cold water with ice, you know. And then again, they said, sky juice. And I had to say, I'm sorry, I still don't know what that is. Every time I've been there, I've asked them, like, what is sky juice? Like, what is it? Can you tell me? And they would just smile at me and kind of do the Indian shake, you know? And I said, no, like sky juice, like what is it? And I've often wondered about this because I've encountered it in many countries around the world where I've asked a person, like, what do you call this in your language? Or what is the name of this thing in your language? And then I never get an answer. And I'm wondering whether there's like a conceptual problem there where me bouncing around from country to country to country, I'm aware that every country has a different name for fork. Like in English, this is a fork. And I ask them, like, what do you call this? And then people just look at me, even if they speak English. Like they can't process that what I'm asking them, like the information I'm trying to get. And I don't know why. It's almost like it's an acquired skill to deal with questions like that. They're very common to me. Like, what do you call this in Chinese? What is this called in Korean? Like, what is the name of this in Korean? And then I don't get an answer. So there I am. They tell me the name, like I'm asking for ice water, and they say, sky juice? And then I ask them, like, what is sky juice? What is it? And they don't answer. Like, they don't show me sky juice. They don't explain what it is. We just hit a dead end. So we went around in circles for a long time. They seemed to understand, finally, that I wanted cold water with ice water. And then the guy went away and he came back with another cup of hot water, like boiling water in a cup. So I just started laughing. It's like, I don't know what is going on, because we've done this so many times. And then it was at that point I decided, ooh, way down at the bottom, you really got to scoop it up. Now I'm getting the red beans, heavy duty red beans. Okay. You got to dig down to the bottom. That's where the good stuff is. Nice, really nice. Anyway, that's when I got out the big guns and I got out my phone and I queued up the photograph I'd prepared of the glass of ice water. And then something really weird happened. I'm still trying to process this. I don't get it. The guy that I've been speaking with every day who serves me at the table, he was leaning against a table, like 2 tables away from me. And I did the thing you do as a customer in a restaurant. You know, I looked towards the waiter and I kind of, you know, raised my hand, excuse me. And then he looked over at me, made eye contact, and he just shook his head, no. And then he looked away again. I was like, what? What is that all about? It's like, excuse me? You know, and then he looked again, and I kind of motioned, like, very friendly, because we'd sort of become friends over the last few days. We weren't just customer and waiter. He asked me a bunch of questions about my life, where I was from, what I was doing. I felt like we had a relationship going, and I just kind of I want to talk to you a second. And he looked at me and just shook his head. And he looked away again, and he would not come over to my table. I have no idea why. I tried one more time, and then I think the expression on my face changed because I was a little bit annoyed. It's like, you're a waiter in a restaurant. I'm a customer. Like, can I talk to you, please? You know, you could see something switched in my demeanor. And then he came over, and I showed him the photograph of the ice. I was back to be smiling and being happy. And it says, like, ice water. Like, this is what I'm trying to get, and this is not this. And then he's like, oh, ice water. That's what you want, ice water. I says, well, yeah, that's what we've been talking about for days. And then he said something else. He told me the name of something. He pointed to that, what the cup I had, and said, that is ice water. And I said, no, like, where is the ice? Like, if that's ice water, how come there's no ice in it? And then he said, well, in Malaysia, that's what we call it. Like, ice water is just a glass of water. I was like, maybe he's telling the truth. I don't know. But I dumped that line of inquiry, and I just went back to my photograph and said, like, this is what I'm trying to get. And I'm kind of making a big deal out of it because I know I'm coming back to that restaurant multiple times a week, probably 5 times a week, and I want to have ice water every single time. So I want to get this straightened out for the future, because I'm going to be dealing with these same guys, you know, like I said, 5 times a week. So I insisted, okay, I'd like to get some ice water. And then they went away, came back with what I'd been wanting all this time, a glass like this filled with ice. And the story isn't quite over yet. I was very happy to get the ice water. And then I went to pay, and I paid, by the way, with eWallet. Talk about that in a second. I paid with eWallet, and then I asked for a receipt. Actually, I didn't ask for it. I thought that was my receipt on the counter, and I was kind of looking at this receipt, looking to see what I had, what they listed as my order, you know, and the prices of everything I ordered. And then it wasn't my receipt, and the guy says, oh, you like a receipt? And he printed one out, handed it to me, and it said food, 9 ringgit, and then it said sky juice, 50 cents. So my receipt said sky juice. So all this time, when they were saying to me, sky juice, they were trying to figure out that I actually wanted ice water. They call ice water sky juice. I don't know why, but anyway, that's what was on my receipt. But anyway, I'm I kind of left there just as confused as I went in, but I did get ice water that time. New dish arrived while I was telling my ice water story, my sky juice story. This would be the bean curd something. I forget what it was called. Oh, they brought a receipt as well, so maybe I have the names of everything here. My bill. Okay. Cheese bean curd roll. And you do get 3 of them for that price. So let's see. Will it focus? Cheese bean curd roll. Focus back on me. I can't tell if it's focusing or not. So let's give one of these a try. Oh, it's okay. Oh, like there. Oh, okay. I'm still freaking people out because I have the camera rolling. Like, no one wants to come to my table. This big camera makes everyone think I'm a professional or something. So again, I'm doing everything wrong. I can put this onto my serving plate. I don't have to eat off of that plate. Oh, nice. It's good. Deep fried, nice and hot. Nice and warm. You really taste the cheese, which is what I wanted, a very cheese curdy flavor. You can really taste it. It's probably not a dish for connoisseurs of dumplings. It's probably not fancy enough or special enough, but it's good, big and filling, good for a Canadian. Another dish has arrived. Let's get the name first. Sichuan dumpling. Ooh. So I don't know if how well I can get it into the camera frame. Sichuan dumpling. Interesting shape, you know, the way they're made. It has a sauce, like flavor sauce. Let's see what that tastes like. Also a surprise. I was expecting like a sweet kind of plum sauce or something. That's what it looks like. But it's actually hot and spicy. Yeah, let me give you a close-up. So that's it. Like I said, it has kind of an unusual shape, the way the dumpling was made. And these are the bean curd dumplings. And this is kind of my whole breakfast now, I guess. These two, and then the soup is what I ordered. And they have, you know, chopped onions and things on top. But yeah, it's very spicy, this sauce. It's not what I was expecting at all. Let's see what we have in a Sichuan dumpling. Oh, here I am. My server's not going to like me eating out of the bowl again. You have to put it on your plate and do it this way. Nice. Pork, I think. Very filling, you know, very, very dense and heavy. Yeah, some kind of a pork stuffing. The deeper I go into the soup, the more like red bean shows up. It was all hiding down at the bottom. Ooh, I wonder if I can dip this into the spicy sauce. Because there's a lot of sauce here. Seems like a shame for it to go to waste. Good thinking. My breakfast is over and I've paid the bill, just heading out. But I noticed coming downstairs that all the tarts are showing up. So yeah, they're busy making them down there, which is really cool. And there they are, the freshly made tarts. They look really good. So traditional egg tart, $2.70 for each. Lard, eggs, flour, sugar, and water. And they have bamboo charcoal, black and white sesame, so they have different types. Oh yeah, okay, there's these ones here, right? The darker ones look different. And then the more ordinary ones. Yeah. And then they have all these other things. Deep fried taro, shishiso, red bean, and pork pie. All of them look really good to me. Really do. Final shot of the alleyway, and some of the other businesses are here. There's another restaurant, the Hungry Tapir. How do you say that word? And yeah, beautiful yellow building. And right here, restaurant Bun Chun. And there you can still see people lined up to get into Hokau, Hainan. Always a lot of interesting scenery around Kuala Lumpur. Shrine right here. Verdict for Bun Chun? Excellent. Love the place. Despite me going in there and, you know, freaking them out with my orange shirt and my camera and stuff like that. Great service, good food, good environment. I was thinking about places like that where you, from a distance and from a Canadian perspective, perhaps you might think of it, oh, that's a place for tourists. And if we say that in Canada, that usually means it's not a place we want to go, like it's not authentic, for example. But I find these famous places that are attractive to tourists, like I'm looking at Cafe Dion right now, Ho Kao, Bun Chun, all these places. They're sort of tourist-oriented, and yet to me they feel very authentic. Like the building that it's in is real. As you walk around in there, it was clearly like it's an old traditional house. Everything, there's like, it's kind of worn and dirty in places, like an old building should be. The furniture, the way it's presented and prepared, all the food and drinks, to me, I mean, what do I know? But it just feels like an authentic sort of place, not a gaudy tourism place, if you get my drift. Whoa, surrounded by some interesting bikes here. A beast of a BMW. Man, look at that thing. Batman could be riding on that and would not be ashamed or embarrassed. And then it looks like we have some kind of a scooter club here. Big ones with all kinds of accessories on the handlebars and luggage. Yeah, it's a weekend, right? It's a Saturday, so you're seeing more like a weekend warriors out. People on their bicycles right in front of me. Good timing for me, I guess, to go there as early as I did. I was there at like 7 a.m. before I thought it would even be open, but yeah, they were open and they seated me, so that was cool. And I paid with eWallet, and I promised a story about that. My eWallet adventures continue because I was able to pay with my eWallet not because I put money in my eWallet, but because other people, subscribers and now friends of mine here in Malaysia, they did it for me because I still haven't managed to do it myself. But, a friend of mine transferred eWallet to eWallet from his eWallet. Again, thank you very much. And another subscriber used the DuitNow number. So this kind of takes me back because someone said, okay, now that you have an e-wallet, you can put your e-wallet account number on your YouTube page. And then if anyone wants to, buy you a coffee or do something like that, they can transfer directly into your e-wallet. And yeah, it seemed like a great idea. So I went searching all over my e-wallet, my account, looking for the account number, and I went to my profile and went into the settings and all that, and I found a big long number that was obviously my e-wallet account number. So I copied and pasted that into YouTube, like into the video description. It's right there at the top of the video description now. And I did that with confidence, and then the friend of mine who did the e-wallet to e-wallet transfer, he wrote to me last night and said, no, that number's not right. It's too long, like too many digits. That's not the one you're supposed to post. You're supposed to do the Do It Now number. And I was like, oh, okay. Because I'd seen the Do It Now number, but I didn't know what Do It Now was. It wasn't activated or anything. I assumed it was one of these things that I wouldn't be able to activate anyway. And yeah, I didn't have it, but he says, no, that's the number you want, the Do It Now number. So I went into Do It Now and I activated it. That was easily done, so that was no problem. And then I took the Do It Now number and put it onto YouTube, and then a subscriber transferred 100 ringgits to my e-wallet using the Do It Now number. So it actually works. So that was very cool. So actually I have money in my e-wallet, and I used that money just now, to, whoops, sorry, that's all right. It's just me causing trouble with the camera.
Nice Saturday.
Yeah, it is great. And that brings me to my story of yesterday, because my project for yesterday was for me to put money into my e-wallet. And that turned into a bit of an adventure, and I failed. I did manage to do it, which was kind of funny. Because I started here at Pasar Seni, there was a machine there inside the Panasonic MRT station. It's some sort of a tap-it machine, which according to all the signs and everything, you could transfer money from anything to anything. It looked like it could do anything for you, but it kept rejecting my phone number. I thought I would just get a reload pin by putting money in, but then it said, okay, you have to enter your phone number, and your phone number is connected to your eWallet, and then it would just put the money in automatically. So that's how that machine worked. So I thought, okay, I didn't really want to do it that way, but that's how this machine works, so let's do it. And it just kept telling me, no, that phone number, there's no such phone number, doesn't exist. And I think looking back, I was entering it wrong. I left out a 0 at the beginning. I didn't realize I had to include the 0. I thought 0 was part of the 60 Malaysian country code, but I guess I had to start my number with 0 and then the phone number. And had I done that, it would have worked, but I didn't do that. And I gave up eventually, because I tried several times and it kept telling me, oh no, that's not a real phone number, invalid phone number, that phone number doesn't exist, and I just gave up. And I thought, okay, that's not going to work. But there was another machine, the normal kiosk at KL Sentral, where I put money on my touch and go card, and I remember it had an eWallet option as well. So I thought, okay, I'll just hop on the subway, the MRT, zip over to KL Sentral, and I'll do it there, put money on my eWallet. I was all excited about this. I got to KL Sentral. I had to ride along the LRT, exit the LRT, go into KL Sentral, and then there's the machine there. So I confidently went up to the machine, clicked on the eWallet, reload button, and it said, I got a message that said, oh, we are sorry, this service is temporarily not available. So I was like, oh no, that failed. I couldn't do it that way either. So I thought, okay, there's one more way I can do this. I was determined by this point, I was gonna get it done. And I decided to just go to 7-Eleven because, 7-Eleven can do everything for you. So I came back here by LRT, and I went to my neighborhood 7-Eleven, and I was going to just go up to the counter and ask for, a reload pin for a touch and go. But the place was just jammed. There was like an armored car company, like an armored car security company in there working on things. I don't know, maybe there's an ATM in there. They're fixing something. They had the whole place torn apart. Men with guns standing around, blocking the door, blocking the aisles. And there were about, 10, 15 people in a lineup at the counter of 7-Eleven. And I thought, nah, that's not for me. I'm not that determined. As I said, people had already put money in my eWallet for me, so I didn't absolutely have to get this done. I was only doing it for the experience. And then I just says, okay, nah, I just turned around and left. So 3 attempts yesterday, all 3 failed. But I'm on my way to KL Sentral right now because I want to go to Starbucks for an after breakfast coffee. So this is now BTSOC, behind the scenes over coffee momentarily. And I'm going to be passing through KL Sentral, and I'm going to try that machine again, see if it works. I'm getting super lucky with all my LRT and MRT trains. As I said the other day, these trains on the Kelana Jaya line are always either 2 coaches or 4 coaches, like each train. And I always want the 4-coach train. And right now, 2 minutes, it says, a 4-coach train will be arriving. So yeah, I'm always getting 4-coach trains. It used to be I always got 2s. And I kind of let it go and just wait for the 4-coach train. I'm never in a hurry, so I don't mind waiting. Yeah, funny thing is, I've talked about it before, how having a camera out, like a GoPro or this Olympus or anything, just my IQ just drops to the ground. It drops below the minimum. I just become so out of it at times because I'm worried about or thinking about the camera so much. But one thing I've noticed is that I've become very forgetful, and I've learned that as I walk around with the camera, I should never have don't hold anything important in my hand because I'm going to lose it every time. And things like that are always happen when you break your normal routine. I think all of us have like a physical routine that we follow. You're leaving your apartment in the morning and you just follow the same steps. Grab your wallet, grab your keys, grab your bag. You know what's in your bag, you lock the door. You do kind of do all these things on autopilot. So you don't misplace things because you do it the same way all the time. But then if you do something slightly different, then you increase the chances of making a mistake. And when I was on Penang, there was one night, I went out to Banh Mi kitchen, I think, and I was going to have something to eat there, and I brought along my tablet. Oh, here's the message.
KL Sentral. Station sambungan ke MRT Lavalier.
It's a very long and loud message. It takes up almost the entire ride in the subway train. But yeah, in Penang, I brought my tablet with me, and I just didn't feel like bringing along my full knapsack. I don't want to bother with it. So I just left my Airbnb holding my tablet in my hand, and that's all I had. I didn't bring a bag with me, which is very unusual for me. Next thing I know, I'm at a 7-Eleven buying some milk or something, and I walk out of the 7-Eleven and I left the tablet on the counter. Like I put it down on the counter while I was paying them for the milk, and then I just turned around and left, forgot all about it. Because I'm not used to having anything in my hands, right? It was an unusual habit for me. And luckily, the people in the 7-Eleven were honest, you know, the clerks, and they came running out after me, you know, sir, you forgot this. And then they handed me my tablet. I was like, oh, thank goodness. We just arrived at KL Sentral. Oh, this is interesting. I was here the other day on my failed attempt to get a reload pin for my eWallet, and they were working on the escalator. And I always wonder about those guys that do that work. It's got to be back-breaking, difficult work, like working in that tight space. And I noticed that they were replacing the feet themselves. Like, look at this. It's all been finished and replaced, and these are all the old steps that they removed. Check that out. A giant pile of escalator steps. It's not something you see every day, right? And here's all the chain, like a giant chain, you know, that drives the whole mechanism.
Please stand behind the yellow line. Do not enter the track area. Should you need assistance, please contact our customer.
And just the other day, I nearly lost something even more important. Again, totally my fault. If you watched Daryl Wander Eats video about going to look at the Kojoy Hotel, at the very end of his video, you'll see that he got something out of his knapsack and handed it to me. And that envelope that he gave me was a very important envelope that I've been trying to get for months, literally. Contained my new bank debit card and credit card, which had arrived at my address in Canada. And I've been trying to arrange to have it mailed to me for quite a long time. And I eventually settled on this plan, asked Daryl if I could mail it to his house. My brother in Canada mailed it to Daryl's address, and I knew that in 2 months or 3 months, I would eventually be coming to Kuala Lumpur, and then I could get it from Daryl. And I had enough money in cash to keep me going until I was reunited with my debit card. So that was the plan. And then, Daryl kept it safe for me. And then on that day, he gave it back to me. So it was such a relief. Finally, I've got my credit card, as much good as it does me, but now I have it, and my debit card. And then I went, for whatever reason, I didn't feel like taking my knapsack off and putting the envelope in the bag. And I also thought I might talk about it on camera, so I wanted to show it to the camera. So against my better judgment and against my normal habits, I kept it in my hand, and I was walking around holding it in my hand. And once again, I went into a 7-Eleven, a different 7-Eleven this time, well, here in Kuala Lumpur. I bought something. I don't even remember what I bought. Yeah, a bottle of water, I think. Well, I bought a bottle of water. I went out onto the street. My GoPro battery died, and I was busy changing the battery on the GoPro. Very lucky I took the time to do that, because right in the middle of changing the battery, I hear all this shouting behind me. And once again, the clerks in 7-Eleven, they come rushing out of the 7-Eleven, waving this envelope in the air. It's like, sir, you forgot this, you forgot this. I left it on the counter. Like, easily the most important thing in my life at that time. And I just tossed it on the counter, paid for my water, and walked out the door. All because of I changed my habit. I don't normally carry things in my hand. I always put them away. This time I didn't put it away, and force of habit, I just walked out of 7-Eleven without it. Crazy. But both times, I didn't lose the tablet, I didn't lose my credit card or debit card, so I got lucky. Yeah, very lucky that time. And there's the machine. Reload and pay bills here. So it turns out I don't actually have money with me to add to my eWallet. All I have are singles and 100 ringgit notes, just 2 of them in my wallet at the moment. That's currently all the money I have in the world. And I don't want to put 100 ringgit into my e-wallet right now, so I can't actually do it. But I'm going to click on this button and see whether it's back in service, you know, because here it says touch and go card, and then there, let me zoom out. Touch and go card and e-wallet. I never noticed that the first time, but let's see what happens. No, same thing. This service is temporarily unavailable. Yeah. I'm starting to think that temporarily unavailable is not quite accurate. I think it is sort of permanently unavailable through those machines, or an extended period of time, perhaps. But I'm here at New Central now. I'm going to look for a bathroom and then look for a Starbucks. I'm down on the floor of the New Central Mall where Starbucks is located. And it's not open yet. It's just about 9 o'clock. And I think I know why Starbucks here is so warm. You know, it's not really air conditioned. I think it's this whole floor. Upstairs it was nice and cool, and then I came down to this floor and it's just roasting down here. So I think it's the shopping mall. I think it's their problem, you know, the air conditioning, why Starbucks here is so hot. Yeah, I'm sweating just sitting here. Something else kind of funny I just noticed about this camera. I can hold it now fairly steady because I'm sitting down. And I can sort of hold the selfie stick with 2 hands, you know, get a nice levered grip on the pole. But I have it on face tracking again, because again, I have a lot of trouble with cameras and autofocus. So I have it set to face tracking, and it wasn't working. It was like, why aren't I getting the white box? You know, why isn't it tracking me? And I thought it was because I was wearing my glasses. So I took my glasses off, and then boom, it got my face. You know, it recognized that I had a face. But as soon as I put my glasses on, the camera went, oh, where's the face? There's no face here to track. The glasses fooled it, and I don't know why that would be. But it turns out the mask does too. That when I take the mask off, a white box appears around my face. But as soon as I put the mask on, the camera loses me. It doesn't know how to recognize my face. I guess it needs 2 eyes and a mouth, that shape, in order to know, oh, that's a face. I should focus on that. And if you cover up your eyes with your glasses or cover up your mouth with a mask, then suddenly it can't track you anymore. So, yeah, interesting. As I was rummaging through my boxes in storage, I also came across something that is quite funny. A pair of glasses, like eyeglasses. But it was such a terrible story, kind of typical for me. This was way back when I was in Taiwan, and my eyesight was just starting to go a little bit. Just enough that I thought it would be nice to be able to, you know, like reading glasses, would be nice, like just to sharpen things up, you know, reading a book or something like that. And also distance. I noticed things were not quite as bright and colorful and sharp as they used to be. But I'd never had glasses before. And as with most things in this world that everybody seems to know about and knows on instinct, I found very confusing because your eyes naturally focus at infinite distances. You know, my eyes focus near, medium, and far when they're working well, you know, when I was younger. So what kind of glasses do you get? Because I have 3 basic ranges where I like to see clearly. Smartphone distance, like right here, like holding a phone up in front of your face, looking at Google Maps. I want that to be sharp. And then I want laptop distance. I'm sitting at a computer, laptop on my knees, on my thigh, and there's the screen, which is further away. So I want sharp here, and then sharp far in the distance. So I have 3 different distances. So like people were telling me, well, you've got to get bifocals. You know, half of the lens is for reading up close and the other half is for distance. But yeah, I try these out, but everything on the computer would be blurry. So it's like, how do people do it? Like, how do people buy glasses? You have to pick 2 out of the 3 distances, and one of them will always be blurry. So I'm looking into this. I'm going to all these camera shops, you know, where they measure your eyes, you know, check your eyesight and make lenses for you on the spot kind of place. And they says, well, we have trifocals now, so you can have 3 distances. And I thought, oh, let's try that, you know. So you've got 3 different lenses in one, you know, smartphone, laptop, and distance. And funnily enough, at this time, the style in Taiwan was for skinny glasses. Everybody was wearing these like skinny slit glasses. Those were in fashion. And I hate those. I want big glasses. Like, why am I just gonna have a little eyeglasses like covering them? And anyway, I want big, wide glasses, but you couldn't find them anywhere. And I finally went to one eyeglass shop that happened to have 1 pair of bigger glasses, not quite as big as these ones, you know, but they were bigger than the little slit ones. And they just happened to be Hugo Boss glasses. So Hugo Boss was the only brand I could find that was suitable, and the lenses were large enough that you could turn them into trifocals. And not surprisingly, Hugo Boss glasses turned into trifocals were expensive. I mean, blew my mind. It's like, seriously, that's how much they are? But at that time, I was just quitting my job, and I had I had money at that time. So I thought, you know, okay, let's spend a bit of money. Let's get this sorted out. And I bought these super expensive Hugo Boss glasses. You know, they measured my eyesight. We did all the testing. We did everything. And then, you know, a few days later, I went to pick up my glasses and they were just completely useless. None of them worked. Like, none of the distances worked. Up close didn't work. Medium didn't work. Whatever they did with the measurements, something went wrong, and these glasses were just completely useless to me. And even if they were the right focal length or the right focusing length, they were so thin. Like, the reading portion was like just barely a slit down at the bottom. So if you're trying to read a book or something, the entire time you're reading that book, you're like, you know, you're reading like this because you got to look down through the bottom sliver of your glasses, you know. It's like, yeah. And then you got to go like this to go look at your laptop, and then you got to go like this to look far away. You know, it was just ridiculous. I thought, yeah, totally hopeless and pointless. I thought maybe I'd get used to them, so I brought them with me. I mean, I got them, I think, the day before I was leaving Taiwan, so it's not like I could bring them back and have them redone or anything, so I just brought them with me. And then I've never ever worn them. I just put them in storage, you know, here in Kuala Lumpur. And I found them in the box again. So I started thinking, well, the lenses are useless to me, but maybe I can get glasses here, like bifocals at least, and use these Hugo Boss frames. So that's one of the errands I'm thinking about taking on over the next few days. Anyway, that's my eyeglasses story before I pop into Starbucks. Here I am in Starbucks. Second customer of the day. So first customer was a smoker, so he's sitting outside, which left the entire interior for me, and I could choose what I consider to be the best seat in the house. This cushion seat, and it's situated just right that I actually can sit way back here in the corner. I can see outside through the windows, and I can see all of Starbucks as well, so I see everything going on around me. There are some other like sofa seats over here beside me. There's 4 more of them, but none of them are as good because you don't get a view of the Starbucks. You can't see anything. You can't watch all the other people going in and out. And if you're, if you can't see people going in and out, what's the point of being in a coffee shop, right? You want to people watch. I was raving about this hot latte the other day, 2 times actually. This is my 3rd visit in as many days. And the coffee just struck me as so much better than any coffee I've had, maybe for the last years. It was that good. And then a friend of mine said, well, let me look into this here in Kuala Lumpur. And then he went out to a Starbucks, just to see whether I was losing my mind or something. So he got a latte as well at his neighborhood Starbucks, and he reported back and said, it was all right. It wasn't strong enough. So lukewarm praise for the coffee that I found to be so good. This is number 3. Different people, same Starbucks for me, but different barista. So we'll see. I could be imagining things, but this isn't up to the standard of the other ones I had. It isn't. It's good. It's like what I really like about it is it's big and hot, and then it's good coffee and good foam. But I don't think this would have me raving like the other 2 did. I think that barista I had that day just had magic in their fingers, whoever it was. I'm not disappointed in this one. This is very good. I would come back for this, but it isn't up to what I had before. I don't think so. Still like it though. Oh, nice. And I mean, one of the reasons I came here as well is because I'm on this, touch and go eWallet quest to figure out how all of this works. And I hadn't done a touch and go eWallet transaction at a place like a Starbucks before. And I was wondering, could I handle it? Am I man enough to do it in a public setting like this with people waiting in line behind me? But here, it was completely different all over again. There's such a learning curve, just paying for things the modern way, because what I was used to was scanning their QR code, which opens up their account on my phone, and I enter the amount. But there's another way to do it, which people told me about, and I kind of knew about it, but I'd never done it before. And with that, you scan something else. You don't scan their QR code, you scan a scanner, and it automatically transfers the money from your account to theirs. You don't have to do anything. You don't enter anything. It just takes the money and you're done. And I didn't know that. I know it now because I just did it. But the funny thing is, when you go to this, there's scan, which means you scan a QR code, and there's a pay button, which is the automatic system I just mentioned. And then when you hit the pay button, it opens up a QR code on my phone, and then their scanner scans my QR code. Oh, that's what's happening. I didn't realize that. Okay, now it makes sense, because I thought I was still scanning something. I'm talking to the cashier, telling him I've never done this before, so I don't know what to do. And a quirk is there was nothing here about touch and go or eWallet. It said you can pay without cash using the Maybank QR or something like that. And I'm like, I haven't got Maybank. I don't know what that is. So can I do this? And I asked the guy, like, I have touch and go eWallet. Is that going to work here? Does this connect with Maybank somehow? And he's like, yeah, no problem. And then he did something on his cash register, and then he pointed at a scanner, something very small device that had a red light on it, and he just sort of pointed at that as if I would know what to do at that point. And I says, okay, like, what do I do? Like, I still thought I was scanning something, so I didn't know. Was I supposed to hold my phone this way and scan it with my camera lens, my phone lens, or was I supposed to turn it around and aim the front of my camera at this thing and scan it that way? It's like, do I hold it like this or do I hold it like this? And he said, yes. It's like, yeah. And eventually, anyway, I was turning my phone around in front of the scanner, and I guess it eventually read this QR code, and then boom, it just automatically transferred the money. And now I see why. I thought I was scanning their scanner or something, but no. When you pay automatically, they scan your QR code. And it says here that this one refreshes automatically every 60 seconds. So it's a brand new QR code specific to my account every 60 seconds, meaning nobody can steal it and use it themselves. So, okay. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Slowly figuring out I'm Bob again. Bob. And there's something else weird here too. I was going through this long transaction, ordering the hot latte, and the cashier kept saying something about something. And I was like, sorry, what? And he repeated it and repeated it. And I kept having to, I was very embarrassed. I don't want to shame the other person or shame my ears, but I had to say to him again, like, I can't hear you. I don't know what you're saying. And then he repeated it again. And I said, still, I don't understand you. And then we eventually let it go. And he said something about donut and included, you know, with the coffee. And then I was like, well, I don't want a donut. So whatever you're telling me about a donut, I'm not interested. And he was pretty insistent about this donut, but eventually he let it go. But now I see on my receipt that there's some sort of a special deal going on. Maybe it's early in the morning or something, that with every latte like this, you get a free donut. So I could have had a KV donut worth 5 ringgit for free if I just said yes to whatever he was telling me. But I didn't want a donut anyway, so that's okay. So as far as this morning journal and morning adventures go, the BTS OB and the BTS OC, you know, over breakfast, over coffee. I'm gonna wind it up here, enjoy the rest of my latte. It's still a good cup of coffee. Yeah, it's not up to what I had before, but it's still pretty good. I'd come back. Yeah, that's it. Gonna shut down the camera, move on to another part of my day, and I'll see you in the next video.